Next on ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend, a suspicious package shuts down parts of the borderland as the bomb squad investigates. And a man who escaped from police managing to stay on the run for days, how he was finally tracked down. And El Paso still experiencing an influx of Cuban immigrants, but a local agency and groups say they need your help with this morning. This is all the news you need to start your Saturday, May 14th. ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. Getting straight to our storm track weather now. We have a first alert, so let's get your first forecast with storm tracker Iris Lopez out live.
Yes, she's here. She's here. Got it?
Stand by. We are here at the Fountains of Fair. You can see everyone behind me. The March for Dimes, March for Babies has already started. It is underway, and I'm not going to lie, beautiful weather for this march. Let's see exactly how beautiful the weather is. If we take a look at those current temperatures, you can see we're in those upper 60s here in El Paso. Over in Las Cruces, 60s for you as well. Here in El Paso, you can see those clouds in the air, which means those rain chances are in our forecast. Let's talk about your March of Dimes forecast for today. We're leaving that 20% chance of rain for your noon lunchtime hour. Then we're going to hit those 90s by 4 o'clock all the way up until your 6 o'clock hour. So it is going to be a very hot day. Coming up, this is what we're going to talk about. For today, of course, hot and those rain chances. Next week, those rain chances remain in your forecast, plus some wind. Plus, we're going to talk about your graduation forecast. UTEP students and NMSU graduates. We'll let you know what you can expect for your graduation day. All that and more coming up right now. I'm going to go and walk with everyone. Okay, back to you, Andrew.
All right, thanks, Iris. Check back in just a bit. In the meantime, though, police say a suspicious package found in a downtown building was not a threat. According to police, the package was sent to the Western Refining office inside the Anson Mills building. That's on the 300 block of North Oregon Street. Happened around 5:30 yesterday evening. Police tell us the buildings and businesses were evacuated. Shortly after, police say that the package was found not to be a threat. Main Street and Oregon Streets were closed while the bomb squad investigated the scene. It has all since reopened. And a man who escaped from police was able to stay on the run for a day and a half. Michael Derby is facing multiple charges in 2 states after his police chase. He also faces additional charges following Wednesday's escape. He was arrested yesterday morning in Las Cruces near the police station. Derby was found at the corner of Picacho and Alameda, and as you can see from this map, just a couple of blocks away from the main police station. From our New Mexico mobile newsroom, authorities had been looking for Derby after he escaped custody Wednesday night. He was being treated at a clinic when he allegedly ran off and stole a truck at a gas station. Police tell us yesterday morning someone called 911 after seeing a man who appeared to need help. That man turned out to be Derby.
Apparently there's a passerby who saw a pedestrian stumbling and falling, appeared to be having some type of medical issue, and that person called 911, so fire, ambulance, and police went out there, and it was him.
Derby was arrested back on Sunday following 2 chases with Las Cruces police. This body cam video shows from an officer's lapel pin. Derby was there in the white. While he was hiding in El Paso, police say Derby carjacked a man and drove the stolen SUV back to Las Cruces. Bond for Derby is set at $100,000. And a man who admitted to raping a disabled woman in a nursing home is going to prison. Peter Lucero was found guilty of false imprisonment and criminal sexual penetration. He was sentenced to 10.5 years in prison. ABC7's Josie Ortegon has more from our New Mexico mobile newsroom.
Judge Fernando Macia said Peter Lucero was looking for someone to prey on in February of last year. His victim, a nursing home resident in a wheelchair who could not fend for herself.
What makes this more, well, actually disgusting is that it was just left on the floor, helpless, a puddle of urine.
It was sex that Peter Lucero first said was consensual, later pleading guilty during the trial. Lucero regularly visited his grandfather at the Good Samaritan Society. Surveillance video used during the trial shows Lucero wheeling several residents to their room, something he did often. But that video shows him wheeling the victim into her room, entering it, then leaving 30 minutes later. Investigators say that's when he raped her.
He knew where he was at. He knew he was at an assisted living facility with individuals that are older and unable to care for themselves.
Lucero said what he did was stupid. He apologized to the victim.
Now I have to pay for it, and I understand that. I'm deeply sorry that I've done this.
But it was an unheard apology for the victim who was not in the courtroom. Her sister, who took the stand, says she's had a sharp decline in her health since that day.
Really doesn't talk about recent things. She only lives in the past prior to that event.
While the defense asked Judge Macias to suspend half his sentence, it was denied.
Decisions you make are without the ability to really say there's a different kind of future.
Lucero will spend 10.5 years in prison. In Las Cruces with our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, Josie Ortagon, ABC 7.
And sheriff's deputies say an intersection with no stop signs could be one of the factors that led to a collision that injured 7 people. All 7 ended up in a hospital after a crash in Montana Vista. It happened just after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon at Shogun and Buntline. We're told it was a 2-vehicle collision involving a Hummer H2 and a car. You can see it here. One person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The others had minor injuries. The sheriff's office says speed could have also been a factor in the crash. The El Paso Catholic Diocese is asking for your help to welcome Cuban refugees in our area. According to the communications director for the diocese, El Paso will have 2 planes bringing in refugees until we reach 4,000 people. The diocese is expecting to reach that number about 12 days from today, and the diocese says that shelters in our area are in need of reliable volunteers. Jobs needing to be filled include everything from making sandwiches to changing beds as new people come in. There are also still demand for personal hygiene products like soap, toothpaste, shampoo, and more. Above all, the Catholic Diocese wants to welcome the refugees and make the transition as comfortable as they can.
We are the first experience that they have here in the United States. It's incumbent on us to make sure that when they leave El Paso that they have left knowing that they still have their dignity, knowing that El Paso treated them well. We are a welcoming community. It's what we are known for, and we want to continue to have that as we are dealing with the refugees.
And the Special Olympics torch has already passed through the City of the Crosses. Area law enforcement joined Special Olympians from 3 communities as they carried the torch on its way to Albuquerque for the Special Olympics. We saw athletes from Anthony, Deming, and White Sands Missile Range sharing the spirit of the games.
This is something law enforcement does as an extra to give back to the community for our local athletes. Like I said, it spreads awareness of their disabilities and their ability to be able to participate in the Special Olympics.
The games begin on May 20th in Las Cruces. For many, pets can become part of the family, and losing one can be heartbreaking. But one El Paso man got a second chance with his 4-legged friend. ABC7's Jerry Nahara has the story.
This is one of those feel-good stories. A man and his dog, inseparable, become separated, and years later, reunited once again.
You don't have to look too long before you know these two love each other. Ricardo Dominguez and his dog Brownie got unusually acquainted in 2009.
One day we get home and it's like the kids tell us there's a huge dog in the backyard.
Brownie stuck around and fit in well with the family.
I fed him and I took care of him. I liked the dog so much, he started riding with me in my trucks to work back and forth.
Unbeknownst to Dominguez, the dog belonged to some nearby neighbors.
The owner showed up and that's my dog. I said, okay, sure, no problem. You know, we spend all this because he's gone to the dog pound twice and he got chipped and he's got his vaccinations and everything. Well, this is what we paid for him. Go ahead and take your dog.
We'll keep it short and say there was a dispute and Dominguez ended up keeping the dog. From then on, it was an unbreakable bond. You could even see in the interview, Brownie doesn't leave his master's side.
We'd be going all over, just him and I and my horse, up in the canyons, up in the mountains.
But one fateful day, Dominguez had to take care of some business and left him under someone else's watch. And when he got back, Brownie was gone.
Did it hurt? Yes, it did. It did. It was, like I had said before, you know, it's just like if somebody had taken one of my kids.
3 years passed. Dominguez thought Brownie had been stolen. Then he got an unexpected phone call from a vet.
Brownie? What do you mean? What are you talking about, Brownie? Like, yeah. And where's he at? San Diego. What is it? San Diego.
Dominguez drove more than 700 miles that same day, straight through, no stops except for gas, for 10 hours. He wasn't even sure Brownie would recognize him.
He's seen my hat, and as soon as you just seen his face, and his eyes, like, and he started going and dragging that girl on the leash. And he started coming, and he just came and jumped on me, like, boom, like, and I said, buddy, what's up?
Dominguez never thought something that would cost $10 would be worth so much.
Chipping your dog, if you really love your pet, you really love your dog, do it, man. Do it, because he'll come back to you.
They reunited last week. As far as how Brownie got to San Diego, nobody knows. But Dominguez tells me he'll be horse riding with Brownie by his side soon. Reporting for Good Morning El Paso Weekend, I'm Jerry Nájera.
And of course, don't forget to pick up your copy of the El Paso Ink. This week, only in El Paso Ink, you'll find how out-of-town companies like CarMax are shaking up the El Paso market and what local dealerships are doing about it. Also, downtown's newest hotel gets a new restaurant with a distinctly local flavor. And why two city reps are fighting hard to keep Uber in town, saying the company hasn't been operating illegally at all. El Paso Ink is online at KVIA.com and available for home and business delivery. Call the number there at the bottom of your screen, 534-4422, to subscribe. If you've been having problems with the traffic around El Paso, but don't think it's coming to your neighborhood, then you want to look again. Coming up on Good Morning El Paso Weekend, what new project is about to get underway.
And Morgan McCutcheon now. Hernandez has been running a smart race. She is.
And then taking a live look at traffic this morning. Looking at I-10 and Joe Battle, few cars out there. Now that the sun is up across the borderland, but moving along just fine. I-10 and East Lake, a little bit of camera shake there. We're expecting some interesting weather later today, but otherwise the traffic for now moving along just fine. And a storm track weather, Iris.
That first alert remains in place for the chance of rain. Winds, I'll let you know more about it coming up.
You're watching ABC 7, where news comes first.